Did you know the last Mughal Emperor of India was also one of the greatest poets of his time? Let's talk about Bahadur Shah Zafar. His words are filled with a profound sense of humanity that feels so relevant even today. It's this focus on compassion, rather than hatred, that makes his work so powerful. Let's travel back in time to Delhi, to a court where culture and harmony flourished together. In this remarkable place, poets, scholars, and artists from both Hindu and Muslim backgrounds were not just welcomed, but celebrated. They were given equal respect, equal opportunities, and equal patronage. Imagine a space where creativity knew no religion, where art and intellect were the only currencies that mattered. This ruler's court wasn't just a political center, it was a vibrant melting pot of ideas, a testament to what can be achieved when people come together. Imagine the last emperor of a mighty dynasty, but his heart isn't set on conquest or power. Instead, it beats for poetry and peace. This was Bahadur Shah Zafar, the final Mughal emperor. While his ancestors built a vast empire through might and battle, Zafar's true passion was for the arts. He wasn't a warrior king. He was a philosopher king, a poet who saw more beauty in a perfectly crafted verse than in a conquered territory. He reigned during a tumultuous time, but his court was a haven for culture, dialogue, and artistic expression. Zafar believed in the power of words, not weapons. He fostered an environment where poets, musicians, and thinkers could thrive. His legacy isn't one of military victories, but of profound, soulful poetry that still resonates today, reminding us that true power can also lie in gentleness, creativity, and peace. Did you know there was a Muslim emperor who was a fierce protector of Hindu temples? It sounds surprising, but it's a fascinating piece of history. This ruler, despite his own faith, believed that everyone deserved the right to worship freely. He didn't just tolerate other religions, he actively defended them. Imagine an emperor in that era personally ensuring that Hindu festivals could be celebrated grandly and that their sacred temples were safe from harm. He stood firmly against any form of religious discrimination, setting a powerful example of unity and respect. His reign shows us that true leadership isn't about forcing your beliefs on others, but about creating a society where all faiths can coexist peacefully. Have you ever wondered what shaped the mind of the last Mughal emperor, Bahadur Shah Zafar? It wasn't just royalty and power. It was something much deeper, the Sufi mindset. Zafar was a devout follower of Sufism, a mystical branch of Islam, and its principles were the bedrock of his character. Think about it: humility, patience, and an all-encompassing love for humanity. These weren't just words to him, they were a way of life. This spiritual foundation cultivated his famous gentle nature and his civilized, compassionate worldview, even in the face of immense political turmoil. He saw the divine in everyone, which is why he was known for his poetry and his grace, rather than his might. It's a powerful reminder that true strength often lies in gentleness. Imagine being mentored by not one, but two literary giants. This was the reality for a remarkable individual who had the unique privilege of being a student of the great poet Ibrahim Zauq. His education didn't stop there. He later sought guidance from the legendary Mirza Ghalib. This journey from one master to another shows an incredible dedication to learning and a deep passion for the refined world of poetry and literature. It's a powerful story about how seeking knowledge from the best can shape one's own artistic voice and legacy. This commitment to intellectual growth is truly inspiring, isn't it? It reminds us that greatness is often forged in the halls of mentorship, Is it about being tough and unforgiving, or is there another way? Today, let's talk about a leader who chose a different path. This individual, despite facing opposition and even betrayal, consistently stood against cruel and harsh punishments. Imagine having the power to crush your enemies, but instead, you choose mercy. That's exactly what he did. He believed that compassion was a more powerful tool than fear. He would often pardon those who spoke against him, showing a level of grace that was rare for his time. This approach didn't just win battles. It won hearts and minds, proving that kindness isn't weakness, it's a profound form of strength. What do you think about this style of leadership? Let me know in the comments below. Ever wondered what made Old Delhi the heart of culture in India? It wasn't just the magnificent architecture, but a deliberate effort to nurture the arts. Under royal patronage, Delhi blossomed into an unparalleled center for creativity. Imagine the air buzzing with the melodies of classical music, echoing from every corner. Picture grand gatherings, known as mushawaras, where the finest poets would recite their verses, captivating audiences with their words and wit. This era also saw calligraphy elevate into a revered art form, with masters creating stunning works of beauty. And it wasn't just about art. It was about a way of life. The concept of tehzeeb, or refined etiquette and courtesy, was practiced and perfected, shaping the very soul of the city. This patronage didn't just preserve culture. It made Delhi a living, breathing masterpiece of human expression. Imagine this. You're 82 years old, spending your days writing poetry, and suddenly, an entire army shows up at your door, declaring you their emperor and the leader of a massive rebellion. This is exactly what happened to Bahadur Shah Zafar, the last Mughal Emperor of India. In 1857, he wasn't a warmonger or a power-hungry ruler. In fact, he was known more for his art and poetry than his political ambition. But when the Sepoy Mutiny erupted, the rebels needed a unifying symbol, a figurehead who commanded respect across different communities. They chose him. Though hesitant and knowing the risks, he accepted the role, becoming the reluctant face of India's first major fight for independence. His story is a powerful reminder that sometimes history chooses its heroes, whether they're ready or not. Not the generals or the politicians, but the farmers, the workers, the families, just trying to get by. There was a poet who became their voice, whose words painted a vivid picture of their struggles and resilience. Through his poetry, he didn't just write about grand historical events. He captured the quiet dignity and deep suffering of everyday individuals. He saw their pain, felt their frustration, and channeled it into powerful verses that still resonate today. His work is a timeless reminder of the human cost of conflict and the incredible strength of the human spirit. It's more than just history. It's a story of empathy and connection. Stripped of his empire and exiled to a foreign land, what does a king do? For the last Mughal Emperor of India, Bahadur Shah Zafar, the answer was simple. He wrote poetry. From his prison in Rangoon, Burma, he didn't pen words of war or vengeance. Instead, his verses overflowed with a deep sense of loss, a longing for his beloved homeland, and a profound hope for peace. He wrote of the gardens he'd never see again, and the people he'd never rule. Even in his darkest hours, facing the end of a dynasty that spanned centuries, Zafar chose art over anger, reflection over retribution. His legacy isn't just that of a fallen emperor, but of a poet who remained civilized to the very end.